Hi everyone, in today's video, I am going to give you a review of the PetSafe Treat and Train remote treat dispensing device, and I'm gonna break down the pros and the cons. So stay tuned. For the best dog training and product advice, be sure to hit subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video every Wednesday. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa. I am a certified professional dog trainer, and I have helped hundreds and hundreds of clients live more peaceful lives with their pups. Now, before I get into the review of this product, I do want to mention that I am not an affiliate directly for PetSafe Treat and Train, but I am an Amazon affiliate. So if you do decide to use the link below, I do get a small kickback, but it does help out my channel and I really appreciate it a lot. And I would never recommend anything that I do not use myself. All right, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So let's start with the pros. Let's start with the positive side. So the whole point of the PetSafe Treat and Train is that you can reward your pup when you are not directly there. It opens up a whole new world of training possibilities. For example, if your pup cries in their crate, you can actually reinforce anytime they are quiet by clicking the button and it will release a treat. Now, some pups are working on not crying in the crate when they actually see you. For that, a great exercise you can do is set up the crate nearby so that they can see you while you're watching TV or reading a book. And anytime you notice a moment of silence, you can press the button and release a treat. If your pup has the opposite problem where they can't handle you being away, what you can do is go into another room. Anytime you hear them be quiet, you can release a treat. Another thing this can help with is if you're working out at home and your pup does not stop bothering you. So with quarantine at the time of this video, you know, we have a pandemic, COVID-19. So a lot of us are working out at home. The issue is when you're in down dog for yoga or you're doing Pilates workouts on your mat, your pup probably bugs you because they think you're playing. A great way to teach this is a solid stationing cue, which means go to your place, go to your mat, and the Treat and Train can really help with that because you can randomly dispense treats while they are on their mat and you can have a peaceful workout while they are still in the same room. Another great thing this is used for is if your pup likes to rush guests at the door. Now, you don't necessarily have to have this device to train this or train any of this to be quite honest, but it does make it easier for lazy people like me because you don't actually have to walk back to deliver the treat. Put your pup on their mat, their station, and then practice going to the door, and as you slowly work your way away from the mat, you can release a treat. Another thing you can do is if your pup barks at the mailman or something like that, you can click, and once they hear that beep noise, they're gonna run back to the PetSafe Treat and Train, and then you can continue to reinforce them for being quiet. Now, it's best to catch them before they start barking. So let's say your pup barks at the mailman or the trash man, and you hear the truck kind of pulling up or the car pulling up. That's when you would say mat, and then click and reward. Click and reward. And by click, I mean pressing the Treat and Train button. And it does make a little beep noise, so that will be your marking. So it'll replace your actual clicker because the noise will kind of act as that clicker, marking that behavior. Same thing for begging. So if your pup likes to beg, what you can do, same thing, put them on their mat and then start to eat your meal. And anytime they start to pop out, you would just redirect them back to their mat and then just make sure you're reinforcing for that down stay. Now, there are definitely still cons to this device. So my number one complaint about the PetSafe Treat and Train is that unless you are using specific treats that they recommend, it can easily get jammed. So in the pamphlet, it'll list kind of the best treats for the Treat and Train, and I recommend sticking with those to reduce jamming. Now, the issue I have with this though is I would love to be able to use their kibble, especially for pups that are starting to maybe gain a little bit of weight and we want to control their weight and we don't want to give them a million treats. I like to use kibble for training and use their meals for training so that we can really watch out for them you know, gaining too much weight. And so if your kibble is not the right size, then unfortunately you do have to use treats. Even if it does get jammed, it's not the end of the world. It is easy to unjam. The issue is that if you're in the middle of a training session where it's a really critical time, like the mailman's here, you saw them pull up and you're like, okay, go to your mat. And then you like click and the treat's not coming out, well, you've kind of like missed your opportunity to reinforce that. So that's kind of my main complaint. But I've been using open farm kibble, which doesn't seem to get jammed too often. It still does sometimes. And then the Zoox Mini Naturals, I'll link to an Amazon link below for these. These don't get jammed really very often, sometimes towards the end when it starts to get low, but in general, these are really, really good. I just don't want to give them too many of these because I don't want them to get too overweight with eating these and their meals. Now, another con I do want to mention is if your pup tends to get possessive over food or really obsessive, which is kind of a precursor to food possession, you'll want to practice some exercises of them disengaging from the machine as well, so that you have an opportunity to take it away without increasing their anxiety around their food being taken away. And also they can just get really obsessed with the machine and like stare at it, which to me, let's say your pup did have an obsession with barking at the mailman, I would still prefer to have them obsessed over the machine than the mailman, but obviously it is not like the ideal situation. We want them to be relaxed and not so obsessed with this machine. So there are different exercises that come with the pamphlet when you order the machine that will help you with having them not get obsessed with the machine and have them kind of associate that you're actually controlling this machine. Now, the last con is the price. So it is not the cheapest training thing that you can buy. It is $120 right now on Amazon. And on top of that, you do have to buy 4 D batteries. It doesn't come with those. And D batteries aren't like the cheapest. I think I got them for like $8 at CVS. But yeah, it's not the cheapest machine ever. But if you really are trying to take your training to the next level, I really do recommend it. Like I said, with all the cons that there are, even with the jamming, I do recommend it, and I love my Treat and Train. I use it a lot, and I use it a lot with clients as well. It just opens up a lot of possibilities. I just wouldn't leave them unattended with the machine because they might break the machine if you leave them unattended. But for training things like stationing exercises, which help a large variety of problem behaviors that I mentioned earlier, I really do recommend it. And like I said, it's not like you have to have this device to train your dog. You can always manually deliver the treat, but it does make it a lot easier. All right, so that's it for today, everyone. What are your thoughts based on the pros and cons for the Treat and Train? I would love to hear. Leave me a comment below. And if you want to get more into your training and learn how to really use clicker training and reward-based training to help train a well-behaved pup, I really recommend you sign up for my free on-demand webinar. It's called The 5 Biggest Training Mistakes Pup Parents Make and How to Avoid Them. And I think that you're gonna get a lot of really, really good information from this webinar, and it's gonna help you get your pup to want to listen to you. I also do have a Possum Parents Facebook group. If you wanna connect with like-minded pup parents just like you and ask questions in that group, I'll leave a link to join that as well. All right, that's it for today, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.